Welcome to the 2021 Hemmings Motor News Great Race presented by the Hagerty Drivers Club. We are in San Antonio, Texas at the very start. The background are these cool cars as well as the Alamo. Just can't wait to get going.
Defending champions, his father and son team, Deep Restoration Supply. Boys, I know you're going to compete. Check out the nice set of horns on the front of this car. Three-time champions, Howard and Doug, come on up here. Let's take a green flag. Love to see this family team, boys.
After a few days in San Antonio preparing to start the race, Stage 1 begins as they depart San Antonio, Texas into the beautiful hill country.
The Alamo right behind me, where in 1836, 187 men gave their lives to save the Republic of Texas. And we're getting ready for the start of the great race from here in San Antonio all the way to Greenville, South Carolina. And we're not going the way you would think. We're going a great race way. We're going to go straight north through Texas into Oklahoma, Missouri, Kentucky, West Virginia, Virginia, North Carolina, and then we'll finish in Greenville, South Carolina. 9 days from today, 2,300 miles, 120 great cars from as early as 1916. When they leave San Antonio, the first stop will be San Marcos, Texas for lunch. San Marcos is home to the late Dick Burdick, a five-time grand champion of the great race. And the Burdick family will be there. Ray Terry, who is a legend on the great race, will be there. And we're really looking forward to that. And then they'll start hitting the back roads of Texas on the way to Temple. You know, we get off the interstates and we find all these great back roads, and we do a lot of zigging and zagging, and we really put these old cars through their paces.
These great racers have one thing in common, and that's they believe that they should get these cars out of the garages and out of the museums and drive them. And these very valuable machines are traveling 2,400 miles over the next 9 days.
Rookie teams came out in record numbers this year, and it doesn't take long for them to learn about the complexities of the route, which is designed by John Klassen, the director of competition. The route not only challenges the teams with intense maneuvers, but it also provides beautiful scenery throughout small-town America.
It's as hot as you can stand as drivers roll into Temple, Texas today. There were a few cars that had issues, which is normal on the first stage of the race, but most of them are there. It's very hot. Everybody's ready for some water and some relaxation in downtown Santa Fe Plaza.
We're here in Temple, Texas at the end of the first day of the 2021 Great Race. And the winners on the very first day of the race, and the very first day in this car, are Gary and Jean Ann Martin. Their 1932 Ford.
This is the first year for this car. We have rallied in a 38 Ford and then a 64 Nova. A few times we have been old card, so we decided to get this car, hopefully not to get old card. And it was kind of interesting because we didn't have much of a factor before, and today when I got the scores we had a factor, so that was nice. But it's a fun car, and he likes driving it. He likes driving it.
It's fun. It used to be a burnt street rod, and she can't believe I bought it. It's an original steel 32 that we just kind of took it from the ground up.
Beautiful ride, sir.
So we have to start exactly on when the minute flips. We start per 1 minute in 1 minute intervals on the road. So we want our clock to be exactly accurate to the second. So when that beep just happened, I had to make sure that my number was 00 here, so that whenever I hit the road, I hit it at exactly the right second.
Just little minor cosmetic issues. Nothing mechanical, thank God.
I'm confused. So that's a turn 50-50 is 6.4, right?
Yep.
So let's put a loss of 6.4 right here.
No, it's 55.64, however we make it up.
The rhythm of competing in Great Race sets in as Stage 2 leaves Temple, Texas en route to Nocona for the evening stop.
We lost a few cars on day 1, but many of them are repaired and ready to hit the road on day 2. The flat terrain of northern Texas may seem like a simple task for these classic cars, but the challenging course instructions make for a tricky day on the road. After more than 100 miles of back road action, the Great Race rolls into Granbury, Texas, which is the home of Sister McRae. She is the sister of Great Race founder Tom McRae, and this whole idea started right here in Granbury.
Oh, got the windshield way there. That's nice. Brent and Ken doing their rookie campaign in a 53.
Hey, I'm Hank Mull, car 75. It's a 1971 AMC Javelin. It's cloned into an AMX. Got a 360 engine, original drivetrain. And this is its third great race. And great race today. Hot, excellent course. A little bit of a slamazzle at our restart where some, I guess, fans were a little overzealous and clogged up the start line for us, but we took a time adjustment and everything went well. So we're looking forward to enjoying Nocona and then heading off for Oklahoma later tonight.
409. Have a good afternoon, boys.
The challenging afternoon route sent racers into the city of Nocona, which is the classic car capital of Texas.
Great Race promotes the old car hobby as people see these incredible machines going down the road and across the finish line. And the car shows at the evening stops are very impressive. The spectators get a chance to talk to these drivers and to hear them discuss their day's race. And they maybe even get a chance to sit behind the wheel of their favorite car.
She goes, "Oh, I can't give you that."
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, I ain't letting it go."
Oh yeah.
Somewhere in that area.
Down that way.
Split down behind you.
It was something like that.
Okay.
Fourth great race, sportsman division drivers. We had the okayest of days today. We've improved immensely over the past 4 years. What would have been the best leg of our lives in years 2 and 3 has been a mediocre day for us today. Really fun course today. He threw a lot of great little tricks in there, from an immediate left turn at a stop sign to an immediate right turn at a gas station. That was a nice little tricky leg for us.
This small town is known as the classic car capital of Texas and offered a special treat for great racers as the Horton Classic Car Museum opened its doors to reveal an incredible collection.
Hey, we're here in Nocona, Texas, one of the neatest small towns in America, for the finish of day 2 of the great race. Today's winners in their 1932 Ford are Beth Gentry and Jody Knowles. What'd you have today, Beth, for a score?
5.6. Is that
A really low score.
Yeah.
5 seconds and some change. So
Yes.
I want to
Thank
give you
you.
this wonderful plaque. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
One of the hard days across Texas in 97, 98 degree heat.
A 1932 Ford Cabriolet. We built the car in 2006 for my grandfather and my aunt, and we've been running it since 2011, and so far so good. Got a long way to go.
Glad you guys finally came back to where the racing originated at. I hope you got the sound on.
Behind Colton coming in here in your 1951
Took us 16 years, but we finally got to the end of the race.
Chase Robinson's the navigator. They call Asheville, North Carolina home.
After traveling more than an hour from Nocona to overnight in Ardmore, Oklahoma, Stage 3 begins en route to Joplin. But first, a stop at the heart of Route 66 Auto Museum in Sapulpa, Oklahoma.
The weather today on Stage 3 is different than the first 2 days. We had 2 days of almost 100 degrees. Well, today in Oklahoma it's raining and cooler temperatures are moving in. And that's great for most of the teams, but the teams with the open cars are going to get wet.
Racers found their way onto historic Route 66 as they made their way to the lunch stop in Sapulpa, Oklahoma. Even with the rainy conditions, spectators flocked to the heart of Route 66 Museum, where we made a brief stop, just long enough for a sandwich and a quick look at the collection.
Oh, it was cold and wet. It was just raining up all over us. It's semi is passing, washing us down. I'm happy it's done with. Very happy.
The afternoon route also included some time on historic Route 66. It was a long straight drive for most of the day, but a challenging set of instructions nonetheless.
weather is a little more forgiving today with a little bit of rain and cooler temperatures as racers pull into the classic America Main Street scene in Joplin, Missouri.
Okay, see right here, 30 for a minute,
Yes.
40 for 36 seconds. Okay. And that's what I put. How do you do this?
After a minute 12, so this in the morning, you say, okay, well that's actually 148. You don't stop your stopwatch. You're going to tell him you're going to go 30 for a minute 12, then you're going to go to 40, and you just count up to 148.
For him to make it to 50.
Then he goes to 50.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't stop and start because you can't get it right.
No, I can't. And then that's what I did. I couldn't get it right, and it was like, oh my
So
God.
just add those in the morning because then you've got time to think about it. If you're trying to do it on the fly, you're like, oh.
Well, it started out nice and warm. It was about 85 degrees. It was looking good. It was 7:45 in the morning. And if the hotel was oriented a little bit different, you could see these really dark black clouds coming in. But we left out of there. It wasn't raining. We got about an hour down the road, and then the clouds opened up, and we got wet till lunch. And then now we're all dried out and good to go from lunch on today. Boy, great race mean to me. Well, I think it's just like my life. Been doing this since I was 12 years old with my dad. Started rallying with him in 1998, but we went as a family starting in 1991 as I was 12 years old, so he wasn't ready for me to be navigating for him, nor did I ever think I was going to navigate, but it's been a family affair ever since. My wife and mother and kids will be joining us in Kentucky, but it's great to be able to do this with my dad, something that we're able to do year after year. Can't think of anything better to do with him.
What a scene today in downtown Joplin, Missouri, right on Route 66, Main Street, Joplin, Missouri. We have thousands and thousands of people here for this event today, and today's winners are rookies. First time in the great race, and they've won the day. Stage 3, Tom and Dash Roberts in their 1970 Corvette. What a fantastic way to finish the day right here on Route 66.
They have just set a record in the history of the great race, the first rookies to ever win the day. With a 5 seconds, you beat everybody out here and have now established you're the first rookies to ever win a day on the great race. So to the winners of the day,
that's crazy.
You get this beautiful granite plaque. Stage 3 from Ardmore this morning. We're actually from Nocona, Texas to Joplin, Missouri. Stage 3 winners. Congratulations.
Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it.
Stage 4 is all Missouri. Joplin in the morning, ending the day in Cape Girardeau on the Mississippi River.
There are quite a few long stretches of steady speed, but way more maneuvers and challenging terrain than in previous days. We also encounter plenty of traffic, which plays a huge role in the competition. We make a lunch stop at Benton Square in Rolla, Missouri, and this small town came out in full force.
350H. Anybody know what the H is for? I'll tell you, it's the real deal, folks. Carl and Joe Eisleben in the real deal Holyfield 1966 Shelby Gt 350H. This car is nuts. It's father's car. He took his driver's test of this thing way back in the 1800s. See? Can't hear me. 1953 MG TDC. The C is a competition designation. Boy Peterson, they're swapping up navigation detail this week in a 66 Ford Mustang convertible.
What's that? Normally you would think it's the air coming through here and out. It doesn't. Actually, the air comes back in this way and then comes out the window. It allows the car to slide through the air.
Today was awful lot of hills, up and down, very hard to hold speed, but that's Missouri. So what are you going to do?
This is a valve cover off top of one of our exhaust valves. We're looking down the highway, couldn't find anything. We're driving along, and boom! Something came up, dented the top of the hood, blew our speedometer up and off over here. And we went looking for it, can't find it. I think we're gonna try to lift it back into Gerardo and overnight apart from the East Coast. Hopefully we're ready to go in the morning.
After navigating the beautiful rolling hills, we make our way to the Mississippi River for yet another spectacular evening stop, this time in Cape Girardeau, Missouri.
Cape Girardeau was a stop on the 2013 Great Race, and it was voted the best stop of that year's Great Race. And today, thousands and thousands of people have poured out into the streets of Cape Girardeau. There's a classic car show. Are they going to win the best stop on the race again this year?
Nestled on the banks of the Mississippi River, Cape Girardeau has a beautiful seawall protecting from the mighty Mississippi flooding its banks. Perfect stop with a downtown scene for a great race to overnight, stage 4.
We're here in beautiful downtown Cape Girardeau on the banks of the Mississippi, one of our favorite great race cities of all time. And today's winners on stage 4 from Joplin, Missouri, all the way to Cape Girardeau here. That's a long way. It's the longest day of the great race this year. And the winners, Jenna and Olivia Gentry. This is the first time that you've been the overall daily winners of the event. Your mother won 2 days ago, but you tied them until the tiebreaker. So now you got yours for real. They're doing a great job. This is the Dixie Darlings and their 32 Ford Coupe. And this has been a great day.
This is a 32 Ford Cabriolet. We actually built this car, but the reason that we always wanted a 32 is because we got to ride with our grandfather in his 32, and we just remember watching him change gears and a lot of memories made in a 32, so that's why we wanted a 32.
Today is stage 5 of the 2021 Great Race, and we're leaving Missouri. The first thing this morning, we're crossing the Mississippi River, and we're heading into Kentucky. We have a lunch stop in Paducah along the banks of the Ohio River, and then it's on to Owensboro.
Racers cross into Illinois on their way to lunch and get a special surprise with a quick photo opportunity in front of the giant Superman statue in downtown Metropolis, Illinois. From there, racers cross the Ohio River and enter Paducah, Kentucky for the hosted lunch stop.
Probably the age of city out in Chattanooga, Tennessee. As an old town too. 3 days is a little warm, but most of the middle.
Stage 5 covers a little less ground than previous days, so the route features lots of turns, speed changes, and maneuvers to keep the competition intense. With a mixture of rolling hills and flat farmland, the afternoon route led us to Owensboro, Kentucky. And when we round the corner onto Veterans Boulevard, we're greeted by one of the largest great race crowds we've ever seen.
Been with us ever since. Brothers Dave and Paul Dory out of the great state of Ohio in the 1967 Oldsmobile Vista Cruiser that belonged to their parents.
Owensboro, Kentucky does not disappoint with their beautifully rejuvenated waterfront scene. Perfect ending to Stage 5 in the 2021 Hemmings Motor News Great Race presented by Hagerty Drivers Club.
Thousands of people surround the cars, and the Great Race teams enjoy live music, delicious food, and fellowship with the awesome car-crazy community in Owensboro.
We are running the Stahl Foundation's 1916 Hudson Speedster, and this has been a lot of fun. We've only blown one tire. We have another cracked rim already on the car as our good spare. We've been fighting a busted oil pressure system for 3 days. And today we lost brakes. So I think things are running pretty standard, don't you, Dan? Yeah, pretty normal. We're roasting hot. It was pouring down rain through Oklahoma, so we almost drowned. But there are holes in the floor everywhere, so it drained out. But we're having a great time. We love Great Race, and Owensboro is a phenomenal town, and we're right here on the river. It's worth every bit of misery along the way.
Good afternoon from Owensboro, Kentucky. My name is Jim Minetto. I'm the retired publisher of Hemmings Motor News. Hemmings has been involved with the Great Race since 2005. We've been the title sponsor since then. We do it because we believe it's a great way to get the hobby exposed to the public. A lot of these cars usually are in museums, and we're out there showing, burning rubber on these cars every day. Ours is a 32 Ford Speedster. We've had it for about 12 years now. I think every part's been replaced on it by us one way or another. So it's been a lot of fun with this. We've been in the rain, we've been in 100-degree temperature, but the best part of this year's race for me is I'm traveling with my daughter, Kaylee, who goes to college in Savannah. So this has been my best Great Race ever. I don't care what my score is. I've got 2 weeks with her solid, captive in this little Speedster here.
This is amazing. We started in Cape Girardeau this morning, all the way through Illinois and into Kentucky, and about halfway across Kentucky. And they are winners again. You'd never won a day until yesterday, and here we go doing it 2 days in a row.
We're from Newnan, Georgia, and we are in a 1932 Ford Cabriolet. We actually won the day today, and we won yesterday, so we're 2 days in a row right now. Maybe we can get another one, but that'd be real hard to do. We're just happy to be where we are right now. So it was a hard day, but you know, it went well. So yeah, we're just blessed to be here.
Stage 6 on the 2021 Great Race will go from one end of Kentucky to the other. We're starting the day today in Owensboro. We'll have lunch in Elizabethtown, Kentucky, and finish the day in Lexington. It's a long day across the state. Fatigue is starting to set in. The weather's still cool, and that's been a big break for these great racers.
Stage 6 kicks off in Owensboro, Kentucky, and it's a day packed full of rally maneuvers. Today is less about covering ground and more about putting these rally teams to work. Numerous hills, hard turns, and dozens of speed changes wrap up the day's rally before the teams roll into a great evening stop at the Griffin Gate Marriott Hotel in Lexington, Kentucky.
One-minute arrivals make it a very fun event for spectators, and they line the streets to watch 120 cars that belong in museums pass through the streets of their own hometown.
Peerless Green Dragon. We rallied all the way through Kentucky, and the elevation change was something else. We were fighting the car all day. We had to repair it on the side of the road yesterday, but today got lucky, ran down the road, we scored another ace, which is always great. So we're happy to be here and looking forward to a great night of sleep.
The Stage 6 winners here in Lexington, Kentucky, actually for the second time this year on the race, Beth Gentry and Jody Knowles in their 1932 Ford Cabriolet. Stage 7 on the 2021 Great Race will leave Lexington, Kentucky, and we're going to head into the hills of West Virginia. We've got a great treat for the racers this afternoon. First, they're going to go to lunch in Huntington, home of Marshall University, and then they're going to get a surprise this afternoon when they get to cross the new River Valley Gorge Bridge. It is one of the most spectacular sights in the United States.
At 876 feet above the ground, this bridge is one of the highest in the world. Great racers were given the opportunity to drive across the bridge and then take the winding road that goes beneath the bridge for some amazing scenery.
Some of the most beautiful countryside in the United States of America is ahead of our drivers in Stage 7 as they head to Beckley, West Virginia.
right, so every day you have a start time and you have an end time. And they actually give you a dedicated time to leave when you're coming off of lunch. And we know that. So basically the morning stands on its own and the afternoon stands on its own. And so we left at car number, today we were car number 13. So the rule of thumb is you take the start time plus whatever your car release is, 13. And so the start time after lunch was 12:55. You add 13 to that, that's 108. Turns out that I wrote down 118, which means that we technically started 10 minutes late than we should have. Total mathematical navigational error on that one. And so from our standpoint is, I got to take ownership on that. But from the release time, it really is, it's a great way for us to be able to fully understand what we need to do each and every day.
We run in the sportsman's class this year. It is our first year, but we had a little hiccup at the beginning, so we're running as sportsmen. We have a 1965 Mercury Comet Caliente convertible. Today was a great day. We ran a smooth run all morning long after lunch, and then we had a long transit to the gorge. We went up, we went down, we went around, and did it again to get back.
Single digits.
It was a good day.
Awesome.
It was a good day.
It was a good day.
Yeah.
We're here in beautiful downtown Beckley, West Virginia at the end of day 7 of the 2021 Hemmings Motor News Great Race presented by Hagerty Drivers Club. We've got a new winner for this year. First time this year that they've won a stage, and that's Doug and Howard Sharp in their 1916 Hudson Hill Climber. We've been 7 out of the 9 days, started in San Antonio. We've been 7 days, we got 2 more to go. These guys are late chargers. They've won 3 times before. They won the whole race 3 times before. So they've got 2 days to make up some ground and try to get to the top again. But man, great job, Doug.
Thank you very much, Jeff.
Howard.
Hi, my name's Howard Sharp. This is my son, Douglas Sharp, and we're driving a 1916 Hudson. And it's been a real struggle for us this year trying to get one of these plaques. We finally won it today on day 7. And this poor car here was right to the floorboard all day. And the oil's just running right out of it. But you know what? If that's what it takes to get this plaque, then we're going to go ahead and do it again.
We've been on the road for a week already. It's been 7 long days, and today on stage 8, we're going to start in Beckley, West Virginia, and we'll head through Virginia and into North Carolina to Mooresville, North Carolina.
The last 2 days of competition are known as championship days, and it's extremely challenging for the racers as no legs can be thrown out from the daily score.
Stage 8 today was one of the most difficult days ever on the Great Race. We had a lot of checkpoints. We had a maze that had cars coming at each other from 4 different directions.
We roll into Galax, Virginia for lunch and are welcomed by a nice crowd of locals, and they seem to be cheering the loudest for the hometown team, Tom Littrell and his purple Ford Model A Speedster that competes in the X-Cup division. The X-Cup division is a special class designed to incorporate young men and women and give them a chance to compete.
From the scenic vistas of West Virginia, the racers rally into Racetown, USA, Mooresville, North Carolina for Stage 8 overnight stop. The crowds are absolutely wild on this classic Main Street scene. Auto racing runs deep in Mooresville, North Carolina. Stage 8 overnight stop is the perfect setting for a great race finish. Only 1 day to go.
I don't know if I've ever seen so many people in the streets. of a town on a great race stop. Today was the most challenging day of this year's great race, and maybe the most challenging day ever on a great race. And with one day to go, today's winners from Beckley, West Virginia, all the way in here to Mooresville, North Carolina, through West Virginia, Virginia, and into North Carolina, are Jeff and Kylie Hermanson in their 1938 Ford pickup truck, 39 Ford pickup truck. This is their first ever daily win. You've had several stage wins for your division, but this is their first overall winner of stage 8. Jeff, good job.
Thank you. We decided this morning that if we just did what we've been doing all week and had a good clean day
and a little luck,
we'd come out with a good score.
Stage 9 is a championship day as the racers have an early start departing Mooresville, North Carolina, en route to Greenville, South Carolina.
Stage 9 consists of only a half day of rallying, but it's packed full of instructions and full of checkpoints which can trip up the racers on their final push to the finish line. While the final scores are being calculated, the racers stop for lunch at the BMW Car Club of America Museum in Greer, South Carolina.
Greenville, South Carolina, one of the best kept secrets in the South. Beautiful town. The racers can expect the perfect Main Street finish with shade trees and lots of crowds.
Ice cream in that car. I think it makes
Awesome, man. Congratulations, guys. Finishes the win. There's your medal. How you feeling? I love that quick ever tag. Well done.
Today's winners on Stage 9 of the Great Race are Josh Hull and Trevor Stahl in their 1932 Ford Dirt Track Racer. They're experts and they're really good at this game.
On Sunday, June 27th, history was made on the finish line in Greenville, South Carolina. For the first time ever, an all-female team won the great race. Olivia Gentry and her sister Jenna put together an incredible 9-day effort to take home the victory and $50,000. Emotions were at an all-time high at the finish line presentation, and the crowd erupted when the Gentry girls were announced as the grand champions. Their score of 41.31 seconds is astonishing, and the young women took the victory by nearly 9 seconds over their mother, Beth Gentry, who placed second with her nephew, Jody Knowles. Olivia drove her heart out while Jenna managed the calculations to keep them on target all week long. This exceptional teamwork was executed behind the wheel of a 1932 Ford 5-window coupe, which utilizes a 21-stud flathead V8 and 3-speed manual transmission. In the X Cup division, it came down to 2 teams, one from Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and one from Galax, Virginia. Murfreesboro, Tennessee came home with the win with Jacob Hendrickson, Matt Norman, Aaron Guthrie, and Chris Johnson sharing driving and navigating duties. And they were behind the wheel of a 1953 Pontiac Chieftain. Second place in the X Cup division went to the Crooked Road Racers from Galax, Virginia, with Tom Littrell behind the wheel of his 1928 Ford Model A Roadster, with Coleman Davis and Nathaniel Donnelly swapping out navigating duties throughout the 9-day competition. In the rookie division, it came down to a Ford versus Chevrolet battle, with a 1963 Ford Falcon convertible going up against a 1970 Corvette convertible. The rookie division victory went to Tom and Dash Roberts in their 1970 Corvette convertible. Second place went to Mary Jane and Dylan Horn from Port Orange, Florida, behind the wheel of their 1963 Ford Falcon convertible.
That is the South Division. That is the largest division in X Cup. It's every man, every woman's division.
The Sportsman division came down to 2 classic Ford pickups. Taking home the win is father and daughter team Jeff and Kylie Hermanson behind the wheel of their 1939 Ford pickup. Second place went to Eric Frankenberger and Aaron Reed behind the wheel of the 1941 Ford pickup. The Grand Champion division was won by Jody Knowles and Beth Gentry. The Dixie Darlings took home the Expert Division win and the overall championship for the event. This win puts them into the Grand Championship Division, an elite group of past winners, and makes them the only all-female team to ever enter this category.